Hello and welcome. This is a brief video, hopefully clearing up some confusion on 2013 standards registering cf1rs on the website for Calcerts. I'm just going to dig into it. I'm going to log in. And once you're logged in, you're going to click the link that you typically would click to submit the project, which is halfway down the page. It's going to appear about right here. Alright. And you'll see, you see 2008 and 2013. Basically, anything that was permitted after July 1st, you're going to go with the 2013. And unless you're doing the performance, return size, grill, and duct sizing to be exempt from the airflow test, you're going to select the top portion of that. Let me zoom this out here. Alright. So you're going to make sure that your company is selected as installer. It should be already there under the Dropbox. And under project name, you're going to want to put whatever you want as a tag. It's going to show up as a link, when all of your projects come up. So, you could put a number, you could put a name, basically whatever you want here. And then you're going to put in your address. I'm going to use mine for the sake of the tutorial. And then right here, I've actually experienced a lot of just problems, because if you let your autofill fill in that, like say you type in 9 and you see how this drop down box, sometimes these boxes here won't fill in after that. And I've had a lot of contractors have a lot of frustrations over just a simple mistake like that. So if you have that issue, make sure that you're not selecting the autofill, because sometimes that can cause a glitch in the system that pulls up these drop down boxes. You're going to fill out your square footage underneath the building type. Now you want to make sure that if it is multifamily, you designate that. Make sure that your climate zone is correct. And right here, say there's 2 units at the same residence, you would put 2 there, and it would actually allow both testing to be linked to the same project. So here we're going to put 1 for the sake of this, and go next. And you'll see here that we have a system name. Say again, this is whatever you want to identify the system itself. If it's a Ream 16 series, say you can put that in to as a reminder to you, more of a visual thing for you. System area served, if it's the entire thing, you can use the entire location. If for some reason there's 2 rooms that aren't being conditioned, then you would designate that. This is basically just the area that the system serves. If there's 2, upstairs, downstairs, you would designate that there. Floor area is actually the square footage served by the system. So that's where, if you have excluded rooms, you would designate that. But for this portion, we're just gonna put in the same amount as the house. And basically here, each of these, this is where a lot of the contractors get the filling out portion wrong. You can click the I right here. It gives you a description of what it means by what it's saying. But basically, the SC is referring to a space conditioning system. You'll see that a couple times in the paperwork. Anything that's altering the climate inside the building. Climate control system. It could be a package unit, ductless mini split. I mean, you're not going to have to test it, but it could be a window unit, and that's referring to anything like that. So this is asking if the system that we're in question is ducted. So it could, I've seen, I'm starting to see more of the ductless mini splits and stuff like that. So that's what would trigger a no. But for your traditional central, you're going to put yes there for ducted. Installing refrigerant containing a component. This is basically any device that passes refrigerant in the system, line sets, compressors, even TXV valves. Yes, for a typical job, I mean, even if it's just a compressor change out, then you would select yes there, you know. But the reality is not your typical installer is permitting a compressor change out. Installing new SC components, so those would be your other components that are non-refrigerant containing. And then we get to installing more than 40 feet of duct. So this depends on the job. It's pretty straightforward. It doesn't even have a information. It's asking you, does the job scope include changing out the duct system? And if it's more than 40 feet, you select yes there. If it's entirely new, then you'll select yes. But if there are wall boxes, if there are riser pipe, floor partition duct that you can't get to, you want to make sure that that says no there, because that's going to allow you the 15% credit instead of the 6% credit on the duct leakage. So say for this job, 100% of the duct system is new. We're going to select yes, and that's going to prompt 6% duct leakage for the duct leakage test. Installing entirely new. So this is if all components are, literally you took everything out and put brand new stuff in. I'm going to put yes there too. What I think should be done, a little side note, is installing entirely new system, and both of these should be first up there with, is it a duct system? Because if you designate it's a duct system and everything is new on the duct side and everything is new on the cooling on the climate control side, then it should go ahead and autofill the rest. I mean, that's kind of tedious. Why ask that last? That's a personal vendetta with the order of things. All right, here this page it's going to designate what type of equipment you're installing. So we don't live in the mountains, and so we're not going to do a boiler. You could scroll through here, but for the most part, you're going to be doing a split DX, which is going to show up as non-heat pump here. Let's see. Central gas furnace was typical for our job scopes. And as far as what's being installed on that portion, that gas furnace side of things, everything's going to be replaced, so it's going to automatically fill all new heating components. But if you don't select that box on the previous page, you can actually designate what's being replaced. So say you're just switching out the burners or something like that. I believe there's a option that you could put burners, or exclude certain items from the job scope. But we're going to put all components are being replaced, central gas furnace, and our minimum system efficiencies are going to show up underneath that. Let's see here. So we're going to find our split AC. We're not doing a heat pump, so we're going to go with our essential split AC. All of our cooling components are being replaced. And again, here's our minimum efficiencies for that system. And underneath that, you'll see that just the last two little requirements, that there's a setback thermostat installed and R6 duct minimum. But that's nothing new. I'm not going to hit next because that actually, yes, I will, because that will bring me to the review page. The next page, step 4. After step 4 is when you actually create the job. So this is where you're going to basically review things. No new information has to be put in here unless you want to link me to the job at this point. This will be all your review information from what you just filled out, just all on one page, so you can make sure that it's all correct. These green dots here will basically be green for yes, red for no, and you want to make sure that the proper things are selected there. And blah, blah, blah. See, this is another part where I think it would be good to generate what tests are required for this job scope before you go ahead and submit, so that you could see that oh, why is it 6% duct leakage? Oh, because I didn't, there's a red there where it should be a green. I think that would be nice on this page, but I'm gonna quit putting in my personal input. Finally, you can select my business by putting in my information there and press submit. You also want to make sure that the appropriate things are selected for a responsible person. And here's where you'll submit, bottom right. If you have any more questions, go ahead and call me at 562-760-7119.